Oh, my throat. Me, 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 moo, ma, moo, moo, me, moo, ma, moo, moo. Potato.
A new generation of trainers stands at the foot of a mountain. Up at the peak sits the thrones of 4 kings. 2 thrones sit empty, and at their feet is a wave of veteran trainers aiming for greater heights. Who will come out on top? Find out now on the Weekly RemARC.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Weekly RemARC. My name's Dozer, and I'm sick. I've been dealing with one hell of a sinus infection for like the last several days. So if I'm sounding a little off, or if I start to cough up a lung, or if my voice begins to disappear 30 seconds into the episode, you know why. So we're just going to try and cruise through this without killing my voice and my throat and anything else that's related to me. And we're just going to jump into the announcements. First off, the feedback and suggestion doc is now live. You may review almost all ideas that have been suggested by the community and their current status. There is a second tab, aptly named Definitions, which explains what each stat entry means. Shiny, if you suggest any ideas that are already on the sheet, Eva will deduct IVs from you. Probably not, but you never know. Second tier shift reminder, Bisharp is being tested in UU coming down from UUBL, but it is not ARC legal. Do not, I repeat, do not get disqualified. Don't pull a dart. Platoon Wars! Platoono remains in first place after week 2, but they're surviving off of Smentz's bonus points. In second, we have House Habsburg, the team with the most wins so far, but they're only in second by 1 point, as Despacito 2 in third won't back down so easily. While they only got 1 win last week, Dark did get one with a bonus point. The Bad Boys and the Heartbreakers may be struggling, but we're 2 weeks in, with 4 to go. This is still anyone's game. A winning streak can still turn things your way, and the better your opponents do, the harder matchups they will have as well. The World Championship match, Abrant defeated Venge in singles Ubers twice in a row, defending the world title. Then Venge beat Abrant twice in a row in Ubers, first taking the title and then defending it. This rivalry is now 2-2 in singles Ubers, each time with the World Championship on the line. The rubber match is upon us. Both have remarkable Ubers records. The champ, Venge, is at 11-3, the challenger at 10-3, each having only lost one other Ubers match that wasn't against each other. This whole thing can be over after game 1, though, since in all 4 of their championship meetings, the trainer to win game 1 also won game 2. Will we see a game 3 this time? Will we see the end of a streak? Or will the King of Heartbreak continue to live up to his name and send Abrant home shattered once again? In the IC Championship hunt, Max submitted for an IC title shot. However, he and the champ are on the same platoon. So Maxie's opportunity will come at a later date. In the meantime, y'all should be trying pretty hard to defeat the champ in league play. Not only do you gain bonus points for beating Yui in a non-title match, but if Yui falters a few weeks in a row, the title can be defended sooner than later. So who wants to step up and hand Yui some losses and cause them to have to defend the title? Who will be the one to challenge Yui while Max waits his turn? Max might not even be facing Yui for the IC title. When the time comes, it could be you. Step up. Onto the ladder climb, Fire Gem and Marble Fall have both moved up to Rising Star. There are no tier shifts to talk about this week, and our Dark Arena is singles Camo Mons. On to the battle breakdown. Starting off with Show Me Your Power, the HP's hidden powers that were used for 722. Venge threw in a blind plus power. Blind as in he did not know who his opponent would be. Max bought an IC title shot, but as explained, Yui is currently on his platoon, so they cannot fight each other. Brecker cashed in a plus power in the match versus Hashok. Yours truly, the RemARC host with the most, take that dart, spot a stance change that was taking effect last week, swapping in Fairy for Psychic. Syracuse, the doubles brother extraordinaire, used a change of venue last week to turn their match from singles monotype to doubles VGC. And Dart, the honorary doubles brother and fellow Despacito 2 member, also used a change of venue, moving away from doubles VGC. Wait, am I looking this right? Oh yeah, I'm looking at this wrong. Moving away from doubles VGC into singles NU. And Syracuse moves from singles monotype to doubles VGC. I put the notes in wrong. I was confused. Ignore me. Last week's battles, we had Heart Wong beating Shoops in singles RU, then Yo Pierre beat Vendetta in singles UU. I Choose Pokemon pulled potential upset by beating A. Kelly in singles PU. Fire Gem beat Shadow in singles Little Cup, one of our 3 Little Cup matches from last week. Marble Fall pulled quite the upset, I'd say, beating Syracuse in doubles VGC Sun. Hashok beat Brecker in singles OU. Dart beat DanTheGamingMan in singles NU, giving Dart himself 1 bonus point from that change of venue that he used. Nah, the big upset of last week, beat Reginanos in singles Little Cup. Sage of Mugen beat Max in singles NU, and another upset from last week, Smence beat Abront in doubles OU. Smence getting 1.08 bonus points, 0.75 from a mid-point difference bonus point bonus. Now that is redundant if I say so myself. And then 0.33 bonus points for the Abront contender rank, and then Venge beat Otto in our 3rd singles Little Cup match. Venge earning a bonus point from that plus power you used. So how has this impacted our hierarchy? Let's take a look. As in top of the league, again, Venge returns to his throne with an 8-1 record and 19.47 points. Abront tailing behind that with a 6-3 record and 16.5 points. Smence, though, is hot on Abront's heels, also with a 6-3 record, but with a 15.08 points. And also a currently higher strength of schedule. Yui is trailing behind them by a decent margin with a 6-2 record, but only 9 points because lacking those crucial bonus points. And then we have Sage of Mugen here in the top 5 with a 6-3 record and 8.25 points. Fun fact, Yui has the highest strength of schedule of anyone in the top 5 with a 0.618 strength of schedule, which is ridiculously high at this point in the cycle, at least as far as my opinion goes. Looking into the big rise and falls in the ladder, we had Fire Gem jumping up 5 places on the ladder to land himself where he is. Marble Fall and Yo Pierre jumped up 4. Dart and Zovier both went up 3. But now on the downside of things, Max, Reggie, and Shoops fell 3 points. A. Kelly dropped 4 placings. And Shadow dropped a big old 5 spots on the ladder from his loss last week. So how do all these ladders and points and matches go into affecting the ongoing Platoon Wars? Well, we did a brief overview, but let's go a little bit on a deeper dive right now. We have Platoono with 11.08 points, a 4-2 win-loss record, which is the 3rd, which gives them the middle ground win percent in the grand scheme of things. I was going to say 3rd best, but it's also 3rd worst because there's only 5. But they have a 66.7% win percentage. But that platoon has the highest strength of schedule with 0.617. We'll do a deeper dive into that right now. Let's just jump into this right now. Let's look into Platoono. So 11.08 points for Platoono. 9.08 of those points, an overwhelming majority of them coming from Smence himself. He has put this platoon on his back and is carrying them towards stARCade. He's got a 2-0 record and the highest strength of schedule of any single battler in any platoon with a 0.738 strength of schedule. Following that up, we have Reginanos with 1-1 records. Same with Hatchlock and Fire Gem. They all have 1-1 records with 1 point, 50% win rate, and relatively average strength of schedules. Reginanos has a .563, Hatchlock has a .552, Fire Gem has a .483. But those are still, I'll say that they're a little higher than average in comparison to everyone else, but not noticeably so. Moving towards Despacito 2. I'm getting confused because the notes are arranged weird. So let's jump first off. So Platoon's in first. And second right now we have House Habsburg, the royalty. They've got 10 points with the most wins out of any platoon with a 5-1 win-loss record, which also gives them the highest win percentage of 83.3%. And they have the middle range strength of schedule of all platoons at 4.18. So, which isn't a super high strength of schedule. Strength of schedules are kind of really low on the platoons right now, but it's early on. So it's kind of hard to have that be a good measure this early on. Taking a look into our Platoon 5, our House of Royals, Sage of Mugen and Yo Pierre are the ones pulling this platoon up. Mugen and Pierre both have a 2-0 record with 4 points under their belt. Mugen, though, has a higher strength of schedule there with a .560 strength of schedule, in contrast to Pierre's .233 strength of schedule. Beyond that, the next points contributor to this team is Shadow with 2 points and a 1-1 record, thanks to a bonus point that he got last week with a .460 strength of schedule, which is a little bit under the average side of things, but ultimately still kind of in the average range. Their entire strength of schedule, really, in the average range, because you also have DanTheGamingMan, his 1-1 record with a .529 strength of schedule, and Marble Falls with a 1-1 record with a .440 strength of schedule, which is a little bit more on the lower side of things, but nowhere near as low as some of the strength of schedules that we get with our next platoon, which is Despacito 2, a platoon that is near and dear to my old icy Dozer heart, with 9 points behind Haas Habsburg by just 1 point, with a 4-1 record, and the second best win rate of all platoons with 80% on the nose, but also the lowest strength of schedule of all platoons, just barely behind Nato and the Heartbreakers, with a .387 strength of schedule for Despacito 2, right behind Nato and the Heartbreakers, .389 strength of schedule. Really close strength of schedule there. Deep dive into Despacito 2. Most of their points right now coming off of the back of Dart, who's on a 2-0 record with a bonus point, giving 5 points total. Also has the highest strength of schedule out of anyone on Despacito 2 or Platoon 2, with a slightly under average .476. The second highest point contributor on that platoon is yours truly, the RemARC host with the most, with 3 points, a 1-0 record from a good old bonus point from last week. Because I've been sick and drowning in school, I've been inactive for last week. I will be inactive this week as well, unfortunately. And I have, I think, the single lowest strength of schedule. No, I take that back. It's the second lowest. The second lowest strength of schedule of any platoon member across the entire Platoon Wars at .250. I'm really pulling down the curve there. Syracuse is the third point contributor with a 1-1 record, giving us 1 point overall with a .434 strength of schedule, so also a little under average. And then Shoops, who is not a point contributor, 1, because we only take the top 3, 2, because Shoops has been having a rough time with things lately. He's got a 0-2 record, not starting off this block super great, with a .289 strength of schedule, which is also a little bit low there, but them's the breaks. Once again, strength of schedules can get a little wonky at this point in the game, because I think my strength of schedule last week was really low, ridiculously low. Then behind Despacito 2 and Platoon 2, I'm checking my time here. Okay, we're at the 13-minute mark. We have Nato and the Heartbreakers with 4 points, a 3-3 record, 50% win percentage, which is on the lower end of things, with the second lowest strength of schedule as well amongst all platoons. They're not looking to be doing too great, but they're hanging in there. So we're taking a look at Nato and the Heartbreakers. Brecker is the star of this platoon, with the third highest strength of schedule on the platoon. I'm sorry, the second highest strength of schedule of anyone contributing points, with 2 points and a 1-1 record thanks to some bonus points. Following that up, both Na and Hart Wong have a 1-1 record with 1 point apiece due to no bonus points, and Otto, who has the highest strength of schedule on this platoon, and I think the highest strength of schedule amongst all platoon members, behind only Smens, with a .693 strength of schedule, so he has had a really tough couple of matches in front of him, which is why he's got the 0-2 record. So Otto's kind of not had the best start to the block, but things can turn around. There's still like three or 4 weeks left to this, so let's keep our chins up. And then finally, the platoon that is in last, both in points and in my personal standings of who has the best nickname. Why do girls like bad boys? With 3.5 points, a 2-3 record, which gives them the lowest win percentage, but they do have the second highest strength of schedule of all platoons. This platoon being carried by Maxi, who has, I think, the third highest strength of schedule of any platoon member out of any platoons, and he's walked out of it with a 1-1 win-loss record and 2.5 points. A. Kelly has a 1-1 record with 1 point and a relatively low strength of schedule as well. Yui has a 0-1 record. You had to go inactive last week. Yui's back on the fight card for this week, though, so this could be Platoon 3, why do girls like bad boys? It's time in order to turn things around, as Yui has the third highest strength of schedule, I think, of any platoon member. Or did I already say that? I don't know. Okay, Yui has the third highest strength of schedule. Max has the fourth highest. I think that was the mistake that I made. They're both in the strength of schedule stat on this platoon, but I don't want to focus on that too much, even though I'm talking about it a lot. Yui has contributed no points with a 0-1 record, and Vendetta has contributed no points with a 0-2 record. But it's really early on, so all these things can shift around and morph and mangle as much as they deem so fit. But right now, Platuno in not too strong of a lead, considering how many points they're getting from Smens. Platuno is just barely ahead by 1.08 points in front of Habsburg, and 2.08 points in front of Despacito 2. Now we're going to take a look onto the dark standings. And Abrant was handed a loss last week, so there goes his win streak that I think he had. Or did he already have a win streak broken? I don't know, but he's got a 26-10 win-loss record in Dark with 37.56 points, followed up by Venge, who has a 25-9 record with 36.79 points. Otto in third with a 13-6 record, 17.79 points. And then yours truly, the RemARC host with the most. I've said that like 3 or 4 times this episode. 3-win record with 3-win streak, not 3-win record. I'm on a 3-game winning streak in Dark, so go me. With an 11-11 record and 11 points, ahead of Smens, who has an 11-11 record with an 8-game losing streak, by the way. With also 11 points, the thing that puts me up top is my strength of schedule is higher by .002 points. That's how close the race between Smens and I is on this dark ladder. We are tied with records and points, but my strength of schedule is .002 points higher. I think my strength of schedule is also, we also have the 2 highest strength of schedules on the top 5 on the dark ladder. So hey, Smens, go us. Moving on to the extras, we're going to tackle the Game Corner. It was a rough week in the Game Corner. There were no perfect picks, and there were no even kind of perfect picks where someone didn't pick all of the available picks, but still got all their picks that they picked right. That's a lot of uses of pick. But, yeah, Hashok, yours truly, and then Brecker, Dart, and Sage, all tying together, rounded out the top placings for last week's Game Corner. We had the most common 5-point pick, by the way. This is where you see why it was a bad week in the Game Corner. The most common 5-point pick was a tie between Regina Brandt, each with 4, if my manual counting is correct. This is not automated, so I may be wrong. I am probably wrong. So yeah, so they had 4 points each, so 8 5-point picks between them in total. They both lost. 40 points spoiled right there. Max was the next most common 5-point pick, only with 2 5-point picks on his name, and he lost. So 50 points spoiled in our most picked 5-point picks. So yeah, not looking good already. Well, things gotta get better with the 4-point picks, right? Because these are the most common picks. They're probably gonna win, right? Well, the most common 4-point picks were Reggie, who had 3, so that's 12 more points spoiled, and Hashok, who also had 3, but actually won. So, there we go. Someone's winning. The most common 3-point pick we have was Bront, who, lost. He had 3 3-point picks, so that's 9 points spoiled. The most common 2-point picks were between Venge and Sage, each with 3, and they won! So it was a weird GC week. Lots of spoiler points. We'll get into that in the records section. Right now we're going to take a look at how this plays into the IV breakdown. Max is no longer at the IV cap and is sitting at 170 IVs, which puts him just barely in front of Yui, who has 166. Then there is Eva with 154. Then we've got Choose, which 139, which is just barely in front of a Bronze, 136 IVs. On to the record watch. Starting off with the Game Corner records, there were a lot of spoiler points going on last week. So, first off, our unofficial record that we tracked the most points spoiled in a single week, which Smens took from Na last week by having 36 spoiler points in 1 week, and it's broken again. Because the lack of faith in Non-Little Cup was strong last week, as 10 people picked not to lose, except they didn't. And in the process took 41 spoiler points. Na is 3-0 in Little Cup. So maybe we want to pick them next time, guys. Yeah. Additionally, the most spoiler points in a block, which was previously set to 85 by Otto, and well, it's only the start of week 3, but the record is on notice, because after beating Venge last week and nabbing 36 spoiler points, Spence has once again found himself with a lot of people picking against him. Sure, it was doubles OU, and Spence isn't the best in doubles, but y'all forgot his opponent, Bront, has nothing on the line, so less effort is given by the Chaotic Warrior. 7 people picked a Bront to win, but Smens walked away with another 29 spoiler points, upping his total to 65 spoiler points with 5 battles to go. So maybe start picking Smens in the Game Corner. On to the Dark Records, the longest losing streak. Speaking of Smens chasing records, this record was 11, set by Smens, and Smens loves records, even the bad ones, and now he sports an 8-game losing streak. Can Camelmons save him from repeating, or will his lack of effort allow him to extend his current record? Then we have the league records that we're looking at. Most points in a singles ladder. The current record is 18.35, set by Venge. Venge currently has 19.47 points on the singles ladder, but 5 weeks to go, and any amount of losing could lower his total. If he keeps up his winning ways, plus the recent usage of plus power, the new record will be hard for anyone to break. And then there's also the longest losing streak, which was 8, set by Syracuse way back when, in a time long, long forgotten. Vendetta would appreciate a win right now, or they'll join the ranks of Syracuse. Vendetta is on a 7-game losing streak, so 1 more loss will tie the record. Silver lining, though, they'd be in the record books. Okay, this is me not talking in podcast voice right now. This is how my voice sounds. Yeah. I will catch you guys. Okay, that hurts. I will catch you guys next week on the Weekly RemARC. I've been Dozer. See ya.